Welcome to the Woodfield Podcast. Today, where all we talk is The Simpsons. And today, we're going to be reviewing Simpsons at season 1 through season 40.
Woodfield
Now,
sucks.
We have 50
what
copyright
did you
strikes
say?
already.
Wrong
Oh,
show, Paul.
I guess
Wrong
we're
show,
screwed.
better call Paul.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe
well,
not.
welcome back to the Woodfield Podcast. It totally hasn't been 3 years.
It's only been like a couple weeks. We're good.
Yeah, it was like
We're
Tuesday.
back,
I thought.
like a few
Yeah.
days
Yeah.
or two, But today we're gonna be talking about Woodfield Strikes Out, which is the season 2 opener, otherwise known as Jack, William, and Harrison, the baseball players, the dumbest and longest title of all time,
Yeah.
and the other dumbest title of all time, which is the 12th episode, Jack Gets Fired and William's Thanatophobia. 2 episodes I'd also vehemently hate.
I hate him too.
Maybe a little less so the 12th one. I really hate Woodfield Strikes Out though.
I hate Woodfield
but
too.
yeah, so
Green sucks. I exist
Is
to make
Alejandro
your day
supposed to say
worse.
something?
No, he stays quiet the whole time.
No,
You
he's here. He's here for pure vanity. Pure
Exactly.
vanity.
Am I supposed
Oh
to
my
say
God.
something?
No, you guys can just like stay quiet and we run the whole podcast. You guys are
Yeah,
diversity
you guys were.
hires.
Okay,
I
because
was gonna say
because
that.
he-
God damn it! I was gonna.
I stole your
Shucks.
joke.
I will
You
kill
want
you
me,
now.
huh?
I'll just turn into Quan
Okay.
Dingle.
I guess
guys-
this
you guys
should
suck.
be I guess this should be the point where I introduce everybody to the podcast. So obviously, I'm Carson. I'm the creator of Woodfield. I run all this stuff. Don't do literally everything, but I do most of it. Today, we're also joined by our good pal, who I may or may not linger outside his window, Sammy Gunasankaram.
I don't know about like good pal, like we know each other, but you know, I know
Been 10
Carson.
years.
I've known him for about 3 or 5 weeks now. I think I voice Harrison. I don't know which character he has me doing. But yeah, that's
Grinding my teeth.
that's me. Grinding my teeth, literally punching air right now. But yeah,
Right, he's cool because he's nonchalant.
Yeah.
That's why people like him.
exactly.
True.
Exactly.
I don't know. I do a lot of.
Yeah, this is and that's actually a perfect transition.
When I see him, I have hearts in my eyes.
Uh-huh.
Like heart skips a beat, not because I have like some medical condition or anything,
Yeah.
but
That's
I thought the hearts were on your underwear. Like in cartoons.
yeah.
I mean,
I have never seen
that-
heart underwear before. Where do they get it?
and then
You've
how come
never
it was in
seen
your
underwear,
drawer when I
period.
looked?
Oh well.
I mean, not that I'm looking in your drawer, like for your underwear. Like,
I mean, I
maybe
don't-
that was
that-
Victoria's
like,
Secret.
I don't
Oh,
mind all
shit,
that much.
yeah.
I mean, anyways, yeah. Speaking of the guy who's hating on me, here's Alejandro, my number 1 hater, and yeah, take it away, Alejandro.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'm
Alejandro.
Alejandro. I voice Johnny, the robot.
Yeah,
You think?
Starting after we transitioned from the MLG voice to normal voice,
yeah.
Yep.
and I also did the song from the baseball episode. That was me at the end.
Yep, which we will
Put out
talk
as a
about
single, right?
later.
Yeah.
Good God.
That song went triple
Yeah.
platinum, last I remember.
It would if
Mhm.
we had the balls to put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, next year, guys. The Grammys are next year. Anyways,
Are they?
of
Are they actually?
course they're next year. They're every year.
Oh, I thought it was
Stupid
like.
son of a bitch.
I don't pay attention to these things. It's all like rich people
God.
basically having a circle jerk.
Unbelievable. You're not. Oh.
I mean, it kind of
Uh,
is.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of not wrong. Anyways, I'm kidding, Sammy. I love you. Speaking of love, somebody else who I don't really love, Paul Mastromarino.
I'm credited as the comedic genius behind Murder Atop the Fourth Wall and Carson's Christmas Tale. So yes,
outta here.
I'm the comedic spine behind the channel's sketch comedy, and
Mhm.
you're welcome.
Yeah. He's like the shadow writer for
Thank you,
everything.
And
I'm the ghostwriter.
ghostwriter. What do you write for Rice Gum? Haha. There's a real deep cut right there. Everybody remember
I am actually so
that?
sure that most of the
2017?
audience has no
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about.
Aren't you also Aren't you
Bunch
also
of
the
Gen
kid
Alpha
named
with their
Figure?
thumbs in their
The
mouth.
kid named Figure.
Goo goo gaga. Why is
Then now to also introduce Eat Fresh 45, or wait, is his name Daniel? I don't know.
His name's Finger.
Oh,
I gotta turn my audio down. Hold on.
Come on.
Okay, there we go. My goodness, my audio levels were probably too high there.
But Daniel, what do you do? What do you say?
Yeah.
hey, I'm Daniel. 2 years ago,
Oh, not the war stories again. Come on.
She-
voiced Ken Dennings. My name's Daniel.
2 years ago, she took the daughter because I was drinking too
The
much.
dog.
And well, in 2 years, not much has changed because I'm still drinking too much.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm
All
still
right.
in recovery.
Oh, you're so pathetic.
Hi, Daniel.
Lovely
I miss
cast of
my
Yeah.
characters here.
daughter. I heard my daughter was on the call. Is she here?
Hi.
Amanda?
No,
wait,
that was
dang it,
that was
Discord
No,
didn't
no,
set
no.
that up.
We
That was-
lured you out for another reason. We're talking about Woodfield.
Yeah.
Amanda?
And I should probably explain why everyone's here. Sammy is, of course, one of the executive producers for the show.
We just
so, of
introduced
course, he's here.
ourselves.
I know. I'm also saying why you're here.
No, he broke the sound.
This is a good way to represent the face of the company.
I'm gonna have to raise my voice at you, Sammy. Now pipe down. So Sammy
Hi,
is
hole.
also Daniel. Sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what came over me there.
Only guy.
You can't see it right now, but Daniel's blinking torture in Morse code.
Yeah, so Sammy's the executive producer of the series, and so obviously he's here for that reason and just co-host and whatnot. But Paul and Alejandro are joining us for special reasons today. Those being that Paul, his first episode ever watched was Jack Gets Fired. So he probably has some interesting things to say about that episode, but we'll hold that for later. And Alejandro, as he mentioned previously, is the voice actor for Johnny. This Woodfield Strikes Out is also his first episode on the series. However, he isn't voicing Johnny for this. He's voicing the baseball coach, which for some reason I slowed the audio down for. So yeah, it sounds a little funky. But yeah. So without any further ado, we'll get into talking about Woodfield Strikes Out first, and then we'll eventually get on to talking about Jack Gets Fired. So yeah, I guess we'll start with just we all tortured ourselves right before the podcast started, where we had to watch both these episodes, and Paul unfortunately was such a great friend and watched the episodes earlier today. So he very tragically had to watch these twice. So
I'm
maybe we'll
unemployed.
start with get a job, Paul.
Yeah,
Get off my couch.
Well, it got,
Well,
it's just the record, it's permanent. It doesn't get off. Yeah, like schools, it just, yeah, a tough case.
What?
My lawyer says we've got some promising, drops that we can make to it, but it's just time
Paul, you're kidding,
consuming.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
alright.
yeah.
Wow.
Are we still talking about Woodfield? I feel like this is a different.
Wow, I might have to block Paul. Yeah. Sorry. I don't know how we
No,
got
I
here.
need those credits. I need those credits on your episode, Carson. I have nothing without them.
Yeah,
He has nothing.
You have no talent.
So bad. We'll start with Paul's thoughts for the episode.
Yeah, no, just
Sorry to
yeah,
put you on the spot.
no, it's okay. I came prepared. So the Tommy cameo obviously like caught me off guard initially rewatching it because I forgot that he was a regular on the show, I guess. So yeah, like hearing his voice, I was like, oh wait, what? So
For
that was a
those
fun surprise.
for
And
those who don't
then
know what Paul is talking about, Tommy is my dad. He voiced Harrison before Sammy took over the role mid-season 2. Yeah, I almost forgot that too, Loki, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I think I wrote. I remembered not realizing, like watching. I forgot like halfway through that the name of the team was like the Apples, I guess, because like on the they hold up the trophy. It says apples, and I'm like, why the hell does the trophy say apples? And I'm like, and then I realized the scoreboard says Woodfield and not apples for whatever reason. So I'm
Yeah, it
like, I
makes some
guess
sense.
I'm like, I don't know if that's
So
the team name
they're
or
the
like if
Woodfield. They're the
it's
Woodfield apples.
yeah,
I call
yeah.
them. I call them the apples because I had like some inside joke between a few of us in middle school where I go like apple or something.
I mean, the
Like
Yeah.
Apple is
annoying
the
orange.
logo.
No.
Is it,
I think it came from like Sky's Minecraft or
is that
something. A real, beat children stuff. Sorry.
is that where the
No, don't bring that
oh,
up. He was much more than his allegations. He was a generational YouTuber that had a fucked up personal life, which
I just liked
There
him
you
for
go.
the
who
rapping, you know what
doesn't
I mean?
have a personal life? Really? Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
I just liked his rapping personally. I was a big fan
No
of
one
that.
could jump through the fence here. I see. I
But
see where
anyway,
the
so
where the lines are drawn in the sand, guys.
Well,
but
I guess we do have two people who beat children here, Daniel and Paul in here, I guess. But yeah, I always thought I
hey,
was
it
definitely
wasn't,
one for being a
it was
child.
it was alleged. It was alleged. Nothing is
Yeah.
concrete. Like it's there's no actual. There's just like a shaky cam video that was on like a iPhone 4. Like it held no weight during the hearing. So
Not enough evidence.
Probably gonna cut this bit out. By the way, I
You know
think
what?
this. I think. I don't think we should probably talk about this
I
part
wonder
right
This is
here.
why.
too. This is
that's
too. This
fine.
is
That's
too
yeah,
legal.
yeah, that's
This is
fine.
getting too
That's
close.
Talking about?
yeah. It was hitting too close. um,
No,
but
not that I was sitting too close. I think probably
What do
might
you mean?
roll
Wait a
up
minute.
too
What do you mean
fast.
hitting too close, Paul? Could you elaborate on that?
No.
That's the correct answer. As your lawyer, that's the correct answer.
Yeah. Yeah, Sammy is my lawyer. Sammy is my lawyer, by the way.
I
No,
am.
you're going to
Um,
jail.
yeah, but yeah, and
Hacky
also
bags
like,
or
and I
getting
was
hacky
gonna,
bags.
and I was gonna ask, like, a part of my question was like, who voiced the mustache man, and then I realized that it's our lovely Alejandro here, because
Oh wow,
and
so cute.
yeah, yeah, of
I
course,
was just a
and he
boy when
was.
I recorded those lines, man. I was 13.
Yeah, he was just a boy.
And first,
For
also fun fact about the episode. Apparently, he was like the first guest appearance on the show. Evidently, the show never had a guest voice actor before Alejandro, so he should get like an award of some kind, like an Emmy or of some sort
yeah,
for
I
that.
mean, when this
But
show ends up blowing up and we get superstardom, I expect that I'll have some sort of special privileges because I was the
yeah,
first one there.
naturally,
Of
yeah. But
course.
that's about all I have to say for this episode. It
Alejandro,
was
I'm sorry,
a
I'm
bit
still waiting
short,
for it to come in the
so.
mail. You know.
No, yeah, I'm sure, right? Because they'd send it to you, of course, courier.
Yeah, it's
I
about.
remember
Well,
I remember recording those lines, or I don't know. I just remember the
wow.
memory of going into, the idea of creating our own show, at that age, and thinking up ideas and actually putting it onto paper so that, it's judgeable, because an idea is just an idea until you create it or you make a material.
It is kind of crazy because I remember just like going into like school, like middle school, or I was in 8th grade. I'd go like I remember I asked you and my other friend who's also in this episode as well, if they'd be open to voicing characters because I was like I can't voice everyone and I also can't have everyone be my dad. I can only do myself and one other person so many other times. To this day, I have no idea why I waited until like the 15th episode to have Sammy on the show. I feel like I feel like that was partially because I just had him all over like the little skit videos all the time. So I guess maybe that was part of it. But I don't know. Sammy was like such a natural choice, especially for Harrison. Sammy should have been Harrison from the get go. I have no idea why I decided to choose my dad. Not saying my dad was it was necessarily a bad choice, but no voice actor. So yeah, it is kind of like what's the word? Mind-boggling, like thinking about like stuff that happened like almost like 8 years ago now. Like yeah, like we released like both these episodes turn 8 very soon, which is crazy. It's old enough to be in 3rd grade. As well as the series itself also turns 10 later this year, which man, might have to jump off a building or something. No way it's been 10 years. It's a little crazy to me. But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's very interesting, I guess. Alejandro, I guess we can talk about I guess the song now. I guess this also should be the point where I also give my reason on why I also hate this episode. I hate this episode because it's a ripoff of The Simpsons Homer at Bat. I watched that episode, loved it so much. I was like, I want to do an episode on sports, right? And so for a little bit, I was going like, okay, well, I can't do a baseball episode because they did the same thing, or they just did that. I can't do the same thing. I was like, well, what can I do? Football. I was going to do football, and I was like, oh, that's going to be too hard animating characters like throwing and catching balls, and running all the time. And then I was going to animate, maybe like soccer, right? And then I got real close to doing soccer, and then I dropped the soccer plan at the last moment. I think it was also just because I wasn't able to figure out what a good like
I guess you could say
clincher at the end of the episode would
you
be.
dropped the ball on it.
You need to
Oh
go.
my god.
You have to go right now.
Yes, that is my contribution, and that's why I have a lawsuit. Anyways, continue,
Yo,
Carson.
You
off
mean another
topic, but
lawsuit?
off topic, but I just saw the original clip from you need to leave. Has anyone else here seen that video?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
original
that
one?
was funny.
Dude, that's crazy. I had no idea that it was because like, oh my god, it's some like white guy some Latino dad had his poor child is getting bullied at school, right? And there was a hearing about it at the school, right? And he's going over his whole experience, and like some white guy speaks up, was like, oh, why don't you go back to Mexico? That's crazy.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
Oh my, I had no idea that was the context of that video. That's something. Moving on. Sorry, but yeah, moving on. Yeah, we were gonna do back to the soccer thing. We're gonna do soccer, but I didn't know the rules of soccer. So I didn't know how to do it in exactly like a gotcha moment, like at the end, like oh my god, the last goal, or like it was overtime or something like that. Because I didn't play soccer.
Yeah.
I played soccer 2 years later, and I probably would have done soccer then, had I done that episode then, because I would have known the rules of the game. Even so, I didn't even know the rules of baseball, so it doesn't. It's kind of it's irrelevant, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I decided to do baseball, and we ripped off The Simpsons. It's not a very good episode. It looks a lot like season 1, as far as like looks, appearance, pacing, and almost every aspect of it. So those reasons, and a few others, is why I really dislike this episode. So yeah, just to add the cherry on the top of me ripping off Homer at Bat, we literally ended the episode. I don't think Alejandro even knows this actually. The song that we chose was I forgot the name of the song, but it's a baseball song that some person sung for a baseball team like back in the 70s, and the Simpsons parodied that same song for the outro of their baseball episode. So I was like, naturally, let me rip off the exact same song but change the lyrics. So now I should just to make sure Alejandro isn't, Alejandro's a musical genius, so just to make sure he isn't thrown under the bus any further than he already was by saying that he made this song. I wrote the really bad lyrics, and I also did the sound mixing on it too. So you can blame all that on me. But yeah, it's also just a ripoff of the outro. It's an unoriginal episode. That's why I don't like it. But I guess now we can now get back to what I initially started talking about, which was the song. Alejandro, what do you remember? I guess from making the song. I guess the end credit song, that is.
He doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is hard. It's murky. All those earlier ones, like middle school, I don't ever think about that really.
Right.
And it's so. I mean,
He's
well,
buried it.
oh yeah, deep down.
It's fuzzy, you know.
There's a hole
Like
in my heart where. But anyways, it sounded as bad as I thought it would be, but also I felt like my pitch was all right for that age. So I'm happy about my musicianship to some degree. I'm trying to think about what the lyrics were. I wish I had it written down, but I think that was an old photo of mine. So I don't have it.
yeah, somewhere. I mean, we could always just listen to it, but I don't think either
Or maybe
of
you
us.
wrote. I'm talking
I have
baseball. There's something in the Flanagan. You know. I think my guitar
remember
was tuned right
the
too.
Apples had
But
won
the
it.
mic was
Scott
off. I didn't know how to use
Martin had
recording
won it.
equipment.
Oh no, the Apples had won it. I don't remember. Yeah, not very good. Yeah, so this is how we open season 2, and this still remains the only original song, like musical song we produced that actually had like lyrics on it. There's I think this is the first time I've ever publicly mentioned this, but there's going to be a song for the season 3 opener, Some Assembly Required. But the person, I hope they're not watching this. They probably won't be. The person who was supposed to be the vocalist, the singer, right?
Car crash.
They just couldn't hit the notes for it. Or realistically, it wasn't that they couldn't hit the notes; they just weren't the right fit for it. Like, I don't know all the musical terms.
It's
but
called
like,
vocal range. You have something in your
yeah,
vocal range when you're able to hit it. Yeah, and I guess
like tenors
they
and
just
basses.
didn't have.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All
they
those
just
words.
weren't in that right position as far as what their voice sounded like.
Yeah, because they could sing. It just wasn't the right fit. And at the time I felt so bad. I just couldn't fire him from the episode. So I made up some BS saying, "Oh, turns out I just this musical scene. It's just too hard to animate. We're just gonna cut it. Yeah." And I just there was a whole month of work I cut. It was a whole month of work I cut. And the song's lost now too, like the original recording of it. I had my phone wiped a couple years back, so
If anybody
only
can
other
find
person
that,
I
there's a
think
cash
have
reward
it-
of 10 cents if you can find it.
yeah, Arlo, if you're
Mhm.
watching, he's the only person I ever sent a demo of it to. I tried to find it in our Instagram DMs. It's not there. It's not there. So unless Arlo saved it, it is currently lost to history.
For legal
Not
reasons,
that
the
it
10
was
cents
ever
is a
going to be
joke.
released anyways. Yeah. Maybe
So-
I'll one day release an alternate cut of that episode with the song intact and finish what little animation I had left. This is why you always record. That was a lesson I firmly learned from Some Required was always record your dialogue before you animate so you don't waste time. Which is embarrassing. It took me 3 seasons to really learn that lesson. But yeah. So since that was never released, still the only, I guess, song that we ever did make was for this. Not very good. Yeah. Moving on, I guess, let's hear from the Peanut Gallery. Sammy, Daniel?
Daniel, go Daniel,
No.
go Daniel. I've been waiting.
No one
What do
else
you guys have to
today.
say about it?
Wow,
Yeah, Daniel.
okay.
What?
What
Yeah,
else?
ask Daniel.
You
Give
have
Daniel a
anything to
prompt.
say?
I think that's what you get
I
for
have your
making that.
color.
Anything to say?
Almost not well, there's a couple things you can't say. Daniel, if you were locked in a room with a tiger, how would you get out of that situation?
Been there, done that. Daniel in the lion's den.
I said a tiger, not a lion. You.
Same thing. It's still a big cat.
Nuh-uh. Lion is a dog.
You're a big cat.
Sammy, I will
You know
put you in a box.
You know what another word? You know what another word for cat is, right?
Gato.
Oh, I got it.
You got
Puppy.
it. Well,
Sammy?
Yeah.
No.
Oh wait, you.
yeah.
That was the first good joke made. Okay,
Yeah, this is
since
the
Daniel has nothing to
unfunnyable-
say about the episode,
Once again.
Yes.
clearly, I think watching the episode now, I really
I
appreciate.
did say the episode was really
Wow.
good.
Okay.
It was really what?
It was
Really bad?
It's a classic, okay? You can't say it's good, you can't say it's bad, it's a classic.
I can say it's bad.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well,
Alright.
Sammy
We're
sucks.
at the end. We are at the tail end of the Woodfield Classic era.
Okay,
We'll be
well, I
moving-
lost my daughter due to heavy drinking. It's not my fault.
That was a classic.
No, yeah, that's true.
Wait, it's not your fault. Well, moving on.
Aliens.
Aliens are really good. They are real. I think
Elon
they
Musk.
gotta be. He's an alien.
Elon
Yeah.
Musk.
We
Hey,
should
we
just
can't talk about that guy here.
we should just say we should just say Elon
Adolf
Musk
Hitler?
for like just repeatedly say Elon Musk for 5 hours and make that the podcast. That you know what? I guarantee we could probably do that. Like we could just say the names of controversial figures for like an hour and then pass it off as super high
Brett.
art.
Brett Favre.
Huh?
What do you say?
Who
Brett
is that?
Favre?
Brett, but he's a football player.
Why is he controversial?
He's just
Who
the
is
first name that
Brett
popped into my
Brett
mind.
Favre?
Okay.
What do you do? Shit his pants on the field?
I don't think.
This is divulged so quickly.
I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we're still talking about sports, right? Baseball, football.
Yeah,
It's
see,
only
see,
same
see, you
ballpark.
guys,
it all comes
you s-
around.
Oh,
This is like
Jesus
60
Christ.
30.
60, 30, 40, 20, 90, 70, something like that. Anyways,
Yeah.
I
Clever.
watched the episode and I was like, dang, we really have come a long way from this. This episode is certainly
Certainly
an episode. This is one of the
Mhm.
episodes
It's the
of all
episode
time.
of all time.
Exactly. But you know what? You know what it has? It's got soul, okay? And that's all you need. It was a creative
Alejandro.
endeavor. It does have Alejandro. He's a very important part too. Without
The
Alejandro, I
diversity
feel like-
hire. The diversity hire
The
for sure.
DEI hire.
Talking bag, yeah.
Hey, that's between us, okay?
Wait,
Yeah, the
Oh,
talkies
okay, my
bags.
bad. My bad.
That's not
My
for the
bad.
public to find out about.
exactly.
What are we
Oh,
talking
okay,
Isn't that
okay.
right?
We're talking
Isn't
about
that
the
right,
Woodfield.
I mean, Alejandro.
I forgot we were listening. I spaced out.
Oh
What are we
no,
talking about?
guys! I think it's about to start. I do think it's going to start. You know what I'm talking
What,
about?
dementia?
No, the piano playing. I heard the bench
Oh
downstairs.
god. Oh god.
Oh
Yep,
no.
yep,
Oh,
it
no.
started. Okay, I'm gonna go tell him.
Nathan,
Shut-
for you.
I'm gonna go tell him to
Anyways,
be quiet.
I can
I'll be
hear it.
back.
If you- For the
I heard
audience
it too,
that
actually.
doesn't understand, Billy Joel lives with Sammy, so you know he has to deal with this every
Yes.
now and then. But he has to, he's a respectable enough guy where he'll shut up.
Yeah, we got
if you tell
Piano
him
Man
politely.
downstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
piano man.
It's
Oh, I
actually-
do hear that.
Yeah.
He loves pianists.
See, what's funny is he actually cut his finger with a knife and had to get stitches on the finger, and he's still playing
Yeah,
the
that's hilarious.
piano.
Man, God must hate you, Sammy.
Hey man,
I get it.
he needs
Or
the bread
sorry.
in his jar to say,
The-
man, what are you doing here?
If it doesn't pick up that much on the recording, I won't tell him. to
We
be
don't
quiet,
hear
but
it at all, really.
I hear it.
No, yeah.
I hear
I
it.
know you hear. I know you hear.
Well,
No, you
anyways,
do.
following up on what Sammy just said about how the show's come a long way, he is absolutely correct. It is bonkers watching like the season 1 opener, or sorry, the season 2 opener, right? And then just going all the way to the end of season 2. It's a completely different show by the end of the season. You know, it's still like general premise, obviously, and still same characters, but like it just changes so much, like so quickly over just 10 episodes. But yeah, I think honestly, I think that's all we really can say about Woodfield Strikes Out, I guess. Unless
Yep.
anybody has anything else to say about it.
I guess.
Nope. So I'll go ahead and do the
I
closing.
don't think so.
Thank y'all for watching the show, and make sure to subscribe and like and do the comment stuff
Well,
for the algorithm.
we're not done.
So are we still doing the insider
We still
trading
got
thing?
one more episode. Yes. We'll do that. over
Okay,
the
Carson. Let's
Speaking of
go.
which-
Come on.
Speaking of which, we are gonna go cut to break for a little bit, but we'll be back after these messages.
Bitch.
Hey, Laser Lips, where's your ticket?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, I would. Refusal to show identification will result in removal from the ship.
I think it's best you move along.
Watch your tone, or you'll be cast overboard!
Arr!
Somewhere beyond the sea, she's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms.
All right, welcome back from our very fun messages. I hope you enjoyed our little teaser for our upcoming project, the Woodfield Remaster Volume 2. I know it's been around 30 years, but at least we're going to have something with these characters for now while we're still working on this behemoth of an episode that's taken me entirely too long to do. But yeah, we also have a surprise new guest who has popped in. Please welcome Gyuan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Idiot. Sorry. Anyways. I'm kidding, Gyuan. I love you. Well, not really, but well, okay, maybe actually.
That was almost worse if you hadn't said that. Actually, no, wait. Whatever, ignore that.
Okay. Sorry. So, for the second half of the podcast, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about Jack Gets Fired, which is not the worst episode of season 2 because we just went over that one previously. So, this episode is was the longest episode of the series at this point. As before that, the longest we'd ever gone for a Woodfield episode was like 5 minutes. Remember when Woodfield episodes used to be like 3 to 4 minutes, guys? I sure wish they were still that length sometimes, because that'd be a lot easier to make episodes.
Yeah,
but
you just gotta animate it like Family Guy.
Oh my, I do really miss making short episodes though sometimes. Yeah, so this episode really is only 7 minutes because it's really just 2 different episodes that were just smashed together to make one episode. It really the episode that was supposed to follow the baseball episode was supposed to be William's Thanophobia, which is basically William's fear of death, because that's what Thanophobia means, but nobody really knows what that means, so I don't know why I named it that. But yeah, anyways, but I remember my aunt, I had a memory like from a few years earlier. My aunt was like talking about Full House. She's like, the one thing I really like about Full House is they have an A and B plot, right? Most shows have A and B plots. But
the thing I like about Full House is that it exists and it's a TV show.
The Big Bang Theory like did the same thing, but
It
it
has
was
like
the only other show to do that.
it has like characters and dialogue.
My aunt's also a Big Bang Theory.
Ooh.
I mean, Big Bang fan. Sorry, why did I say theory?
Big Bang Theory.
Young Sheldon.
That show's terrible. Okay, maybe not terrible, it's just bad. But anyways,
Bazinga.
yeah, Bazinga. You know what's funny? My dad has a Bazinga shirt.
Oh Jesus! And that's why he got off the show, actually, because of that.
Guys, we gotta cancel the show. I saw some middle-aged man wearing a shirt that said Bazinga with my face on it. I don't want to do the show anymore.
Yeah.
Solar
Cancel
panel
it,
for
cut it
a
all.
sex machine.
It's time for younger Sheldon. Should probably not the right time to say that. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna hell. Unintentional. Anyways, so yeah, my aunt had said that it was she liked Full House for an A and B plot. And I remember thinking about that around production while I was trying to think up of ideas for William's Thanatophobia. I was like, oh my god, I should do an A and B plot. That would be great. I haven't done that yet before, right? Which is true. And so I said, okay, well, I got to think of, I was like A plot's going to be William's Thanatophobia, which I think more kind of wound up being the B plot. I don't even fucking know, but yeah, I had to think of like another idea, right? So I had actually all my episodes listed out for the rest of season 2, and some episodes I had planned for season 3, and I actually pulled Jack Gets Fired was actually meant to be a season 3 episode that I just pulled to basically just be a joint episode between the two. So yeah, 2 episodes became 1 more or less. And you know what? It's not as bad as the previous one, but it's still bad, and I still don't really like it that much. And more so, not because there's ripoff or anything here, because that was the previous episode's problem. This episode's problem is that it is just 2 completely unrelated plots that were just kind of like sandwiched together. And it's just kind of awkward because I just didn't know how to do an A and B plot at the time, so it's just kind of a little all over the place. It's a little hard to follow. Speaking of which, we're gonna go off our first, I guess, anecdote of the episode with Paul, who I guess Paul just speak from your memory, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I met Carson very shortly before he made this episode. I don't know
And then he was
exactly
like,
when, but it
damn,
was.
badass.
And for reference, I was, I believe, 12 at the time.
Yeah,
So,
Paul also still said that comment that Daniel just said.
but yeah, so I was like, I had like just met him, and like he did a YouTube channel, and in my mind, I was like, oh, does a YouTube channel? Like that's so cool. He's probably famous in some way. And then, so I subscribed naturally, and he came out with the Woodfield episode, and it was just like the first one. I just clicked on it because it just like popped up, and it was the first one I saw.
And you found out he was a
And then
loser.
yeah. I was like, yeah, this is shit. Where's the color? Where's like the moving mouths when they
Come
talk? It's like,
on.
yeah, what's going on here, man? Just the production was not fit for my 12-year-old self. Also, he spells horoscope wrong in the newspaper that William reads. It's
Did I
spelled
really?
like horror
Okay,
as in
that's
horror
so funny.
movie, not like horror as in horoscope. Yeah, you can cross reference me if you
No,
want.
I believe you. That's so funny. You noticed that though. I didn't even
I
know
did.
that. That
I
sounds
did
about right though.
just because I was being anal when I was reviewing the episode. But
I
uh,
spelled Woodfield wrong in the original intro of the series, and it was like that for like 3 or 4 episodes before I had to like redo the intro.
well,
I don't know how the
that I
hell.
didn't even notice, but
I don't know how I managed to misspell field. It was the field part. I put
can't.
I don't remember how I. Yeah, it's embarrassing. If you don't believe me,
Uh-huh.
you can go watch the
But
intro.
no, I do, but but yeah. So that, and then like I ended up seeing Carson like a few days later, and I said I liked the episode, and apparently I don't even really I like have a very vague memory of this interaction, but I hardly remember like what I said. And he apparently I said like, oh, I liked the episode, but I said the plot was kind of hard to follow.
Yeah,
And that really
I
stuck with Carson. That really got his trousers
fogged his
big,
brain.
and
I mean, fogged my brain.
yeah, his um
Yeah, that was a
really
big
threw him for a
standout
loop. Yeah.
moment. Yeah, big standout moment. I was at church. He ran into Paul, and he said that comment. I remember just like really just going like I was just it just it hit my very big ego at the time. I was just dumbfounded. I was like hard to follow. I was like, what?
I
Because
was
like
the
I was
first
like,
person to step up to him.
no, really. Yeah,
To
I
step
think
of
I
his
think Paul
creative
really was the
prowess.
first person to actually give like some constructive criticism for the series, which is
And I don't
really
even really
funny.
remember it. Funny enough, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't even
It
really
left
remember
impression
saying
on me
that.
though, because I remember just thinking
Hmm.
for a while, like I was like, what is he on about? Hard to follow, like I know what was going on in the episode, but that's just the thing. I knew what was going on in the episode. Probably
Right.
broader audience might have a bit of a struggle with it. Speaking of which, Guan has never seen any of these older episodes. He's only seen, I think, one of the few more recenter ones. So I'm interested to see, I guess, what Guan has to say about this episode, and if he had any trouble following along with it.
I saw the episode. I thought it was really good. I thought even though yes, like I think Paul said, it seems a little like simple or whatever. But like I mean like with like almost like no no money or anything like that. Like I mean, and you're basically almost a one-man team. So I mean I was still quite impressed. But no, I liked the episode. I liked the first half of it a little bit more. The second half it didn't really make too much sense. Like I don't. I mean, I guess he was being mugged by a guy, but I don't know if he was like a central side character or if it's just like a one-time person or something like that. But
yeah, one time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Yeah,
been seen
so
since, except for like background cameos.
right. So yeah, but no, I thought it was pretty good, especially since what you were in like high school or something, or just got into high school, and
No,
so like
not
that's
even.
like
I was 8th grade.
yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like, so, and so yeah, I mean, so I was pretty impressed by it, with like the, like almost no resources that you had at the time, and so yeah, I think, yeah, keep going. It was good. I definitely liked the, first half, with him, like, being fired or almost fired or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny. It reminded me of a boss that I had where. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't like super harsh or whatever, but like it just I was like, oh dang, like that. I found it to be super relatable. So yeah, so I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was good.
So, did you get fired, or? I'm kidding.
No, I did not get fired. Oh, I mean, I don't work there anymore. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
He's
yeah.
been legally said that he
I'm just
doesn't
kidding. I'm
work
not
there
sorry.
anymore.
Oh my god. Continuing, I guess. Something I've noticed on we all kind of noticed on rewatch was how many references to other media
I
this
think I
episode actually
counted.
had.
I think I
Weirdly,
counted 6, maybe, because there's 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's
SpongeBob one.
SpongeBob. There's Ren and Stimpy, like you said.
Yep.
There's that. What's that cop TV show they used the intro for?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Hill Street Blues. We did a Hill Street Blues parody in the
Yeah.
beginning.
So that's 4 already.
There's also a
Yeah, he was.
Simpsons reference that no one I'm sure would ever catch. At the last shot of the episode, I made a reference to Hank Scorpio, and I only put like a few letters there, so you wouldn't even catch the reference. It's literally only
Mhm.
something I know here. But
Right.
there's also a reference to Thomas the Tank Engine, the one where he like falls down the ditch, I think.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I didn't notice that. There are even more, like, subtle ones, but, like, the ones that are just, like, in your face are, I think, like, 3 you could count maybe.
Yeah, some of them
And
don't
then,
even
like
make sense. Like the SpongeBob parody, like I don't know why we did a SpongeBob parody, or a Ren and Stimpy too. Both those make zero sense. Since
yeah.
this should
You were
the show.
running off nostalgia fuel for a show that got, like, 20 views at the time.
Yeah,
You
right.
were
No, it wasn't even that. I just wanted to reference stuff because I thought it was kind of fun to do. I don't know what I was
uh,
on for this episode because I don't even do like. I mean, I do pop culture references in Woodfield, but like they're very far and few between. And this episode is like, especially for early Woodfield too, it's really packed with a lot of them, which surprised me a lot
right.
because I don't think I really remembered that, but I do remember an aspect of me trying to think of stuff to reference. There's also a second Thomas reference I almost made, but it was cut from the episode. I just remembered because
Mhm.
Jack was initially going to flip through a few other channels when he was trying to watch stuff. Again, this stuff doesn't make sense because that episode's supposed to take place in like the mid to late '60s. I guess this is also probably the point where some people might also find out that Woodfield's supposed to be a period piece. Not very good at being a period piece, but it is. Yeah, so again, none of those shows would have been out at the time, so it makes zero sense on why Jack would be watching them since it would be impossible. So when we eventually redub or remaster those episodes, we are gonna have to move a few things around because, the point of the remasters are to kind of like make them watchable again, but also retcon little small things that don't make any sense anymore. Like obviously, I think you can watch the episodes and could probably infer that the SpongeBob part of it was retconned, but then maybe some other details you're like, oh well, I don't know about this one. Is this still canon of the series? Confusing. I'm sorry, I did this stuff when I was like 13, 12, or 13 or 12. It's been a
Yeah.
long time,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah, very, very interesting. Now I guess we'll open the podium back to the peanut gallery of Alejandro or Sammy or Daniel when I guess pipe in with their usual wisecracks.
Why wasn't the episode good?
Sammy, I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. I had
Okay, that's
had
my
nothing.
suggestion. All right, give me
So-
a second. I can come up with something like that.
You gonna come with a rebuttal?
Where do you come up with that question, Sammy? Is what I want to like direct the podcast towards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been studying Woodfield for a couple of years now, and I just think it's important to go back and ask about the fundamentals. What is it?
Woodfield.
What does it mean to be
Yeah.
Woodfield? What is the core essence of Woodfield? And
Yeah.
I think it's.
How do you think Woodfield compares to David Lynch's Blue Velvet? You know,
Oh my god, my poster just fell. Jesus.
I think Woodfield.
Do you get a copyright
is...
strike from saying that?
Yeah.
What?
From the Blue
I
Velvet.
mentioned I referenced
Oh,
Blue
yeah,
Velvet
yeah.
by David Lynch.
Yeah, that movie was bad, but I think
Yeah, hot take. Not an avant-garde film lover.
I would certainly rather watch this Woodfield episode than Blue Velvet. Now,
Have you seen Blue Velvet?
yes, and I don't want to see it again.
You saw Blue. I'm gonna be honest. I saw Blue Velvet as well. I also
Blue Velvet is Blue Velvet's kind of
That
overrated.
was
I can't lie.
one of my
Yeah,
least favorite. That was my least favorite. That is my least favorite movie. But this is about Woodfield, not Blue Velvet.
Well, which one is it, Sammy?
It is my least favorite movie. that didn't even sound like you. That sounded like a whole other character.
Right?
Who even was that? But okay, Woodfield, the police episode. I noticed how it says Jack gets fired, but he didn't get fired. He just kind of got suspended for a week, and then he quit.
Yeah,
and got
because
a
they
new
didn't
job.
want to do a status quo change.
You were late
or
for
try to
3
wrap stuff
days.
up
You
again.
didn't show up. Yeah, that's his getting fired. Is you
Yeah.
were late for 3 days and you didn't show up.
Yep. Did Jack actually do any Oh yeah, Jack did catch a criminal. I was like, did he actually do any policing in the episode, or did he just drive around and hit people with his car?
Mostly the latter.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good.
He did a bad job of catching the criminal too. How the hell does Jack miss a criminal like shooting him from 2 feet away?
Yeah. I will
Unbelievable.
say.
Okay, maybe a little believable.
Yeah, I guess somewhat genuine question. The most genuine question we've had in this podcast so far.
Yeah, right.
Why is William afraid of death in this and not afraid in like other episodes? Is that just kind of a thing?
It was because and see, this is the other thing about like how some of these episodes are blink and you'll miss it, or just they're like Paul said, hard to follow.
Oh right, the fortune.
William read his horse. It's a horoscope. His horoscope says that you will die today, or something of some unfortunate events.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. William would
Wouldn't that seem to point to the idea that he's sort of a
like an immortal
spiritual person?
Yeah, like an immortal deity or something.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. I
since
said
this
spiritual
episode's
person.
been kind of
same
a coward. Supposed to be a coward.
Yeah.
Which is really funny too. This episode was supposed to be the first solo episode for William. William doesn't get an episode to himself until the 17th episode, which is crazy because William shows up as early on as episode 3, and he doesn't get his own until the 17th. I mean, we gave Harrison an episode who was like the last to show up on the series. an episode before we gave William. We still haven't technically given Johnny a full episode, like one that's solely just for Johnny. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess you can argue Johnny's Space Odyssey Part 1 and 2, but he's barely in both of them, and Some Assembly Required you can also make the argument for, but again, he doesn't talk. It's not really a Johnny episode. So at least in my opinion, I guess the viewers or you guys can disagree with me all you want. I don't care. Maybe I do care a little bit. But yeah,
I saw you on mute, Alejandro. The second he said that, I freaking saw you on mute.
Sorry, I care about Johnny.
I got nothing to say. You should get that one, Paul, after just finishing that show.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's a reference to Mob the show.
Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should also mention that this episode also almost killed the series. And I'll probably mention this again in the next podcast inevitably, since the episode that we're going to be going over the next podcast saved the series. But yeah, so Woodfield kind of started out I would say it started out strong for what I had. The first episode got like 70 views when I only had like maybe like 15 to 20 subscribers. Oh, there goes someone. And yeah, so which is a lot for what I had. You know, I had all my friends watching and whatnot, a bunch of family, because that was like the first time I ever done any animation. So I was like, I don't know. It's like, whoa, I did something. And then episode 2 was even better. That one got like 90 views. And then yeah, it was just the rest of the season. It was just a slow, just kind of down tick on views. But like, you know, went from like, you know, the next episode's 50, then 40, you know, and it just kind of like was just a downward trend, except for the rare instance of the 9th episode, which had 90 or 100 views, I think, at the time. But that was just an isolated incident. And then once, you know, we had the season 1 finale, it just continued the trend of just keep, you know, the views just kept getting lower and lower, and then it just completely bottomed out by this episode, Jack Gets Fired, where we hit an all-time low with 28 views. I still remember seeing that to this day and just being just devastated, because I remember talking to one of my friends at recess. Remember recess? Crazy. I was talking about like, wow, this is the longest I've ever spent on an episode. And also, this is just really funny to say now. And I said I spent like, I think 30 days on it, I think, which is nuts to say now, because I've spent almost a year on this episode that we're currently working on. At least we've just been doing a lot. We've just had a lot of pre-production hell that we've been going through. But yeah, just wild to say, like, wild that there was a point in time where I could say the longest production was only 30 days.
A month.
But yeah, I was really upset because I put a lot of effort into this, you know, especially like, you know, the dual plots and everything. You know, I thought I was really kind of really like going all out on this episode. In a lot of ways, this episode kind of reflects the front part 1, and I'll explain that when we get to that episode in a future podcast. But yeah, I was really just devastated by. Oh, here comes Daniel. I was just really devastated by the viewership, and the way I saw it was I really had to reconstruct how we were going to do episodes. You know, following this. But yeah, so following, I decided that the next episode would probably determine the show's fate. And yeah, I decided that if, you know, best case scenario, if the episode, you know, overperformed, you know, like just like in general, like better than what was on the channel, like because most videos at the time were getting like 80 plus views, while Woodfield was, it was just tailing behind. So I was like, if the next episode gets like 80 views or like 60 or above or something, you know, I would just keep the show running on inevitably until I just ran out of steam. If the episode got, you know, a little above average, but like sort of like season 1 average, like, you know, 50 to 40 views, and I would just do the rest of season 2, right? And then if the views just kept going down or just stay the same, then I'd cancel it after season 2. The third option was if the views were like kind of like how it was, how like the viewership was kind of like right around that time, like around 30 views. I would do one more episode, which would be the series finale, which would have been the 13th episode, which was the worst case, which was almost the worst case scenario. And if if that 13th episode performed just as bad as the 12th episode, there just was going to be no finale. Like I would not have done a finale. I would have just ended it right there. Like, all right, just put up the coat. I'm done. Like, but
So
Do you think people would
Come on.
recognize? Do you think people would recognize the
Well,
world
that was
without
my mouth.
Woodfield?
was it?
It'd be
Sorry,
different.
go ahead.
It'd be
No,
different.
somebody farted.
It was good. That was a good part.
I think Earth is flat.
I think I launched.
Yeah, guys, you heard it. You heard it here. You heard it here first. We almost got a world without more Woodfield. I would have liked to see what that would have been, but unfortunately, we're here now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here we are
Yeah.
in the real world. In the real world, we have to deal with something.
Hell.
We
Like
have to deal with William Fleming and Jack Martin.
Haktua. Sorry.
Oh,
It's funny.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, you can't talk about that. This is a 60s period piece, Carson.
Yeah,
Sorry,
can we make this a second Talk to a cast?
No, I don't discuss it.
And now, then, on topic, we're launching a new Woodfield crypto, and you can buy it in the link in the description. It's
just
totally
when
not
you
a pump
purchase
and
it,
dump.
please
Totally
stand
not
on
a
this
pump and dump
conveniently placed
scheme.
rug so I can pull it from beneath you guys. Anyways, continuing. Alejandro, sorry, what were you gonna say? It's interesting. What?
No,
Go
he
Birds.
wasn't gonna say anything.
He was gonna say something.
Not anymore.
Go Birds.
I guess it's interesting how close Woodfield was to getting canceled, I guess. Or, canceled by me, at least. Very, 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 very close. But, yeah, I don't know. Watching this episode was interesting as well, because it's like, wow, like, this episode was kind of bad. I can kind of see why some people weren't really watching it a little bit, because it was a little hard to follow. But I could say that, I could say the same thing about the previous ones too. I mean, they're just, I don't know. And I think the 9th episode being the most viewed of season 1 at the time also kind of makes sense, because I also do think the 9th episode is kind of the best of season 1. The only other one I'd say that kind of might challenge that would be the season 1 finale, because I think that one's also a fairly decent episode for season 1. Which is crazy, because that one is now currently the lowest viewed episode of the series. I don't know where that one's at, but yeah.
Daniel, does your dad actually not believe the moon landing, or was that a bit?
No, I think so. He does not believe in the moon landing.
Yay.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's like, yep, Soviet Union, too much stateside, stakes too high.
Yeah, he said that
They just
exactly.
fake. Duh. They just fake.
Well,
Duh.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
mean, yeah. I
Motherfucker,
guess.
we have planes that go in the
I
sky.
faked it last night too,
all the
guys,
time.
but here we are.
Yeah.
We have planes in the sky.
Alright.
Okay, sir, have you looked up?
Maybe he's right, man. Maybe he's right. Who knows?
Like, have you looked down at your phone? That's
I
how it's
think the
working.
moon landing's fake.
Satellites, no.
That's evil.
Yeah, but that just didn't work. No, he doesn't sound like that.
But he does say that. He does say those exact words.
I'm close to it.
We really gotta have like a.
Basically same thing.
not
Potato,
close
potato,
to it.
huh?
We gotta have a conspiracy deep dive.
The moon landing?
the
Yeah, I
Or
deep
just
agree.
dive.
anything. The moon landing, or like
Yeah.
9/11, or what other conspiracies are there? Chemtrails. That's a good one.
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate,
Pizzagate would be
yeah.
a good one.
Okay.
We could also go over
Yeah.
all of
All
just.
spot.
We could also go over all of the not even conspiracy theories, just all the unclassified things that have happened, like
This is gonna be so much more raunchier than any of the other podcasts. I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be this. This actually might be a little annoying to edit through because I'm gonna have to bleep out a lot of this.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
this
you
won't take
thought
any
G
longer
spot
than a
was
day.
acceptable.
Huh?
I said, yeah, you thought G spot was acceptable.
Yeah, right.
My
I don't even know if I'm keeping all this stuff in right here.
I know.
But yeah, do we got anything else to say about this one?
Who invented sex?
Everybody, that's all that we have for today.
Who did? Like,
we're not getting into existentialism and religion right now because we want to keep this YouTube channel.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean, it's not
or
mine.
do we?
I do.
Well, well, it's a good point. Anyways, women. Anyways, women. Am I right or am I right? Like,
all right,
let me just
there
say.
goes the channel.
Bad Paul. Back to the cuck shack you go.
Back to the
All
cuck
right,
shack.
what have we learned? What have we all learned here today, everybody?
Do
Never
not put these people on camera.
Never let Paul have an open mic. He will say the worst things. And also, while we do, appreciate the creativity and soul of old Woodfield, we recognize its flaws and strive to do better. I apologize again for all the things we've done. I apologize for the whole Suicide Forest thing.
Kamala Harris for second Kamala Harris re-election.
Yeah.
2020. 2020.
Why did you have to say it, dude?
2020. Yeah. 2020.
2020.
Here we go again.
Okay. Are we done? Is that it?
Oh, not another field trip.
Okay, guys, say goodbye before I hit stop record.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for
Wait.
listening.
Okay. All right, everybody, let's say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Daniel's high.
Yeah.
What?
Yummy.